Last week, Jody Wilson-Raybould lifted the veil on the corruption around Justin Trudeau and his highest-ranking officials. She spoke about a sustained and coordinated effort to get her to interfere in a criminal case to benefit Justin Trudeau's friends and help the Liberal Party win elections. She outlined a campaign of bullying and intimidation with veiled threats and unrelenting pressure. She told Justin Trudeau to stop. He did not stop. And when she didn't do what he wanted, he fired her. This corruption scandal has engulfed his government and called into question and undermined the very rule of law and our democracy depends on. Last week, I said that Justin Trudeau cannot continue as Prime Minister, given his unprecedented political interference in a criminal court case. I said he had lost the moral authority to govern. Today, a senior member of his inner circle has come to the same conclusion. Jane Philpott's resignation from cabinet clearly demonstrates a government in total chaos, led by a disgraced Prime Minister, consumed with scandal and focused only on his political survival. It's time for every Liberal cabinet minister to ask themselves the same question Jane Philpott did. Is this what you got into politics for? To prop up a Prime Minister who will subvert the law to win elections and benefit his friends? If not, it's time for them to stand up and be heard, like Jane Philpott did today. But Canadians will know that if other members of Mr. Trudeau's cabinet remain silent, they will only be able to conclude that the ethical rot that infects this government has consumed the Liberal Party entirely. That it is a government that cannot be redeemed, it can only be defeated. La semaine dernière, Jody Wilson-Raybould a levé le voile sur la corruption autour de Justin Trudeau et de ses plus hauts responsables. Un effort soutenu et coordonné pour la forcer à s'ingérer dans une affaire criminelle au profit des amis de Justin Trudeau et à aider le Parti libéral à remporter des élections. Une campagne d'intimidation avec des menaces volées et une pression constante. Elle lui a dit d'arrêter. Il ne s'est pas arrêté. Et quand elle n'a pas fait ce qu'il voulait, elle l'a congédié. Les Canadiens assistent au dernier moment du gouvernement libéral de Justin Trudeau. M. Trudeau et ses plus hauts responsables ont été pris en train de tenter de s'ingérer dans le système de justice criminelle afin de gagner des élections et d'aider leurs amis. Ce scandale de corruption a coulé son gouvernement et remis en cause le principe même de la primauté du droit sur lequel repose notre démocratie. La semaine dernière, j'ai dit que Justin Trudeau ne peut pas continuer comme Premier ministre compte tenu de son ingérence politique sans précédent dans le cours de la justice. J'ai dit qu'il n'avait plus d'autorité morale de gouverner. Aujourd'hui, un membre éminent de son entourage est arrivé à la même conclusion. La démission de Jane Philpott du cabinet montre clairement un gouvernement en plein chaos, dirigé par un Premier ministre en disgrâce et pris dans le scandale et concentré uniquement sur sa survie politique. Et il est temps que chaque ministre libéral se pose les mêmes questions que Jane Philpott s'est posées. Est-ce que c'est pour ça que vous êtes entré en politique? Soutenir un Premier ministre qui va contourner la loi pour gagner des élections et faire profiter ses amis? Si la réponse est non, levez-vous et faites-vous entendre, comme Jane Philpott l'a fait aujourd'hui. Mais si les autres membres du cabinet de Justin Trudeau gardaient le silence, les Canadiens ne peuvent que conclure que les manquements à l'éthique qui plombent ce gouvernement l'ont entièrement consommé. Que c'est un gouvernement qui ne peut être racheté, il ne peut être que vaincu. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Mr. Scheer, what should the Prime Minister be doing now? What are you calling on him to do?
Well, I've already called on him to do the right thing and resign. I believe he's lost the moral authority to govern, and as more and more information comes out, it seems clear that he looked 35 million Canadians in the eye and told them something that simply wasn't true. He claimed that Ms. Wilson-Raybould never came to him with her concerns. We now know that she did. He claimed that he never put pressure on the former Attorney General. We now know that he did. His own senior advisors have admitted that. We believe that we need an independent investigation into these allegations. I've called for an RCMP investigation to start. We've also supported a motion to call a public inquiry, and we've demanded that Justin Trudeau recall Parliament so that he can face the nation on these serious questions. He is running away from the House of Commons, running away from accountability on this, and he should do the right thing, recall Parliament so that Canadians can see what his answers to these very serious allegations are.
If he doesn't resign, should there be a snap election?
We have fixed election laws on the books, and I don't believe those should be manipulated just for political purposes. Justin Trudeau already stands accused of using political motivations to undermine and to break a law. This is not something that we're calling for. We'd rather have him answer the very serious questions that are being posed to him. We'd like to see an investigation commence, and we'd like to see some answers to these allegations. Right now, all he has done is say that he disagrees with the interpretation of events, but he has yet to refute any of the very specific allegations that have been launched at him.
What do you want to see the other cabinet ministers do? Do you want to see more investigations?
Well, they should stand with those clearly. Ms. Jody Wilson-Raybould and now Jane Philpott have said enough is enough, that they cannot go along with this Prime Minister, with Justin Trudeau, as he continues to become embroiled in this controversy. Other cabinet ministers should do the right thing, either force Justin Trudeau to stand down or do the right thing and disassociate themselves with this scandal. If they don't, then they are tacitly approving and endorsing Justin Trudeau's actions on this.
Why do you think that Jane Philpott's resignation proves your point that Mr. Trudeau should resign? Why do you think it's so significant that it should lead to that?
Well, we also know that there is information that only the cabinet knows about. You'll remember that Jody Wilson-Raybould wants to have the ability to speak about those critical events that happened between January 14th, when she was fired as Attorney General, and the day that she resigned from Cabinet. She's made a presentation to the Liberal Cabinet and the Liberal Caucus, and yet Justin Trudeau refuses to waive that privilege, waive that protection for himself and allow her to speak. Clearly, Jane Philpott also has come to the conclusion that the way in which Justin Trudeau conducted himself, putting that kind of pressure, using political motivations to urge the Attorney General to force her into violating the principles of that law, is just unacceptable. And so obviously there is justification to the calls for Justin Trudeau to resign, and also justification for the fact that his version of events just does not hold water.
What do you think of the fact that she didn't wait until Jerry Butts' testimony, that we're seeing this move now 2 days in advance?
I'll let others speculate as to that. I do find that this whole affair has been Justin Trudeau and the key people around him, from the clerk of the Privy Council to his former principal advisor Gerald Butts, have done everything they could to control the message. They initially denied that anything happened, that there were no grounds to the allegations that Jody Wilson-Raybould had made. It took them kicking and screaming to get them to the point where they'd even allow the Justice Committee to start to investigate. They've started a campaign to undermine Jody Wilson-Raybould's credibility and impugn her motives and start to attack her character. We've seen other Liberal members of Parliament continue the sexist and very personal attacks on Ms. Wilson-Raybould. So I won't speak to their motivations, other than it's quite clear that Justin Trudeau is acting like someone who has something to hide.
Basically, the Liberals at this point are still denying that they've done anything wrong. Yet we've also seen them recently, they seem to be shifting their focus on we were saving jobs. We didn't do anything wrong, but we were saving jobs. And what does that shift in strategy tell you?
As we go back to the beginning of this scandal, when it first came to light, Justin Trudeau's line on this has changed almost on a daily basis. So it's quite clear that they're in a communications control exercise, and they have yet to refute the very specific allegations that were made against Justin Trudeau. What Jody Wilson-Raybould outlined was completely inappropriate. She had detailed text messages, emails, notes from meetings where she specifically on very particular dates laid out an accusation as to what was said and who said it. And no one from Justin Trudeau to Jerry Butts has so far refuted those details. As to the justification, I think we can all agree at this point that this was never about jobs. It's been shown that their motivation was elections, their own, elections in Quebec. If there was one job that they were looking at protecting, it was Justin Trudeau's job, not jobs around the country. That argument has been completely discredited. Their motivations on this were purely political, to let their well-connected friends off the hook for very serious corruption and bribery charges.
A liberal MP said that today that the DPA, the Deferred Prosecution Agreement, should still be on the table, that it's still an option. Does the Conservative Party believe that a DPA should still be considered for SNC Lavalin?
The question on this whole issue around a deferred prosecution agreement is that this is a tool that this Liberal government has given to the justice system as an option. It is up to independent judicial officials to make those determinations. It's never up to an elected official to pick up the phone and call a Crown prosecutor or call a judge or call on someone who is tasked with preserving the independence of our rule of law and our judicial system to start saying, hey, I'd really like you to go easy on this friend of mine. We can, as parliamentarians, as elected representatives, we can give different tools to prosecutors, to judges, to our court system, but it is completely inappropriate to start using powerful positions to reward your friends and punish your enemies. That is what Justin Trudeau is accused of doing, and that is what he has yet to answer in any meaningful way.
So you're against a DPA then?
I am against any politician interfering in a criminal. I am answering your question. It is completely inappropriate for politicians to interfere in the execution of our justice system. That is what is essential to this situation. It was up to. It was up.
Set the law. You could.
Last question, Mr. Scheer.
It is up to.
You could take the DPA off the table entirely if you form government. So do you back a DPA or not?
It is up to SNC Lavalin to qualify, to make the case as to why they qualify for this. It is up to independent Crown prosecutors to determine if they have, and ultimately up to a judge. We don't ask prime ministers or cabinet ministers to conclude judicial court proceedings, especially in criminal court proceedings. That is left to an independent judicial system. We do not want to live in the kind of country where powerful politicians can interfere in court proceedings and get a better deal for their well-connected friends. That's